Okay, so this is my fourth time recording this, and I just finally figured out what I want this video to be about, rather than all of the sad stuff that it's been about. Because man, it's been somber this whole time. I'm trying to figure out how to turn this thing into a positive, right? So, yesterday had a pretty good day in terms of business. Washed the windows, made 120 bucks, right? Had a terrible day of my own design by starting a predicament with my ex-wife about how my daughter's living situation is happening and how I feel powerless in her everyday choices and decision that happens in regards to her. Took it to the extreme, said that I basically want to go back to court because I want more power in regards to being able to say what she's doing. Ultimately, we weren't terrible to each other. Wasn't a super big deal, but basically I said I want to go back to court, right? I was super snarky, could have been better in some situations. That's not the point of this, right? What is the point of this is I had a preconceived notion. I had a thought process of what I wanted to happen with my daughter whenever I moved here. And that was she would go back and forth between my house and her mom's house eventually, right? And yesterday when I was talking to my daughter about that situation, right, she told me she didn't want it immediately as soon as I even brought it up. And I was like, what, dude? Like, you don't want to live with me half the time? Like, why did I move here if you don't want to live with me half the time, right? And like, in all reality, I thought about it for a couple seconds and she was like, I don't know. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, and then I thought about it and I was like, that's not a fair question to put on an 11-year-old, dude. You need to back that up because she's not going to be able to give you an answer that will satisfy you, right? So I told her, I was like, no, never mind, don't answer that because it's not a fair question to you, right? So she ignored it and I thought, right? And I thought and I thought and I thought and I thought and I was so mad, right? Like, I wanted to break something so bad, but I didn't, right? Just because, like, my entire world felt like it was, like, somewhat shattered, dude. I had been working for this for years, working to get on my feet, working to figure my life out, you know? And I'm still not even there. And, like, it's like, dang. I mean, at least it got destroyed while I was not even done with it. Like, it would have sucked had I been all done with it. And then she was like, I don't want this. And then it broke, you know? Like, hey, at least it got broke now because that means I can pivot. But, what I'm getting at is she told me, like, she didn't want that. She just wants to be with me on the weekends because she has people at the house that she loves. And that's completely and totally fine. You know, she has someone that acts like a dad. She has a sister there. She has her mom there, right? And she feels like she's part of the family, which is great because, you know, hey, man, I'm not technically a family, you know? Don't feel like, I mean, not what you would think whenever you know, whenever you think of family. It's just, you know, a dad and daughter, you know, necessarily it's not the ideal family, if I'm being honest, right? So, it's my ideal family. I love my daughter, but that's not it. So I told her that, you know, like, I had been working for this and it breaks my heart, but pretty much I'm not trying to sway her. You know, I basically told her that, like, I don't really even want you to live with me if, you know, you don't want to be here. Like, I'd rather you be happy somewhere else. But the fact that she's you know, happy that I'm here is not changing. She's always happy to see me. She's always, you know, happy to go with me. She just wants to live with the people that she's lived with for the last 7 years, and I can't blame her for that. You know, can't really be angry that she doesn't want to walk away from people that love her. You know, not asking her to either. So, what I've always had as a thought process is, like, everything is for my daughter, right? Even though that's not really how I operated, right? I like to fool myself and think think that like that's how I'm operating, but in all reality I'm pretty selfish. Like I operate a lot for myself. I'm here for my daughter in all reality so I can be closer to her, not and see her more frequently, right? But like I don't operate for her every day, right? So that's the premise of this video, right? Is I used to fool myself into thinking that things were for my children, my child, right? I used to fool myself and think like, oh, I live in Houston for my daughter. And yes, I do, right? But what is Daniel doing in Houston for Daniel? You know? Like, I used to think my daughter was the biggest aspect of my life when in all reality she's someone that I only get to see a small amount of time, right? I've fooled myself into thinking that I can't move forward or in any other direction in regards to many facets of life because I have thought that my daughter comes, I have fooled myself into thinking that my daughter comes first, right? When she has not even been a priority to me, right? And that's something that's harrowing to understand, right? It's a realization that's not necessarily the greatest to have in a setting where you're putting it all out to be seen, right? But you have to, if this can help anybody, that's why I'm doing it, honestly. It's because, like, I want you to understand that you have to, in all reality, be you first, right? Like, I know it's motivational, and I'm honestly a pretty motivational person, if I'm being honest, whenever I can get in the right mindset. But the thing about it is, even if you have a child, right, you have to figure out a reason to be you first. You need to work on something you like. You need to do something that you do, man. Otherwise, you will not survive, right? Because even if it's something that you love, dude, like, even if it's someone that you love, necessarily they don't have the same goals, plans, or intentions as you. Only you have your best intentions at heart, and that's okay, right? Your best intentions are just intentions for everybody else, right? Like, if you want to see your kid more, that may be the best intentions for you, but how much stress does it put on somebody else, right? How much stress does it put on the kid that wants to be near you but also wants to be near their family, right? How much stress do you put on other people if you are doing stuff, yeah. I don't have anything to follow that up, but it's just like, you have to figure out a reason why you're here, what you're doing, and then everything should be built around that, right? Don't build yourself around people, right? Don't build yourself specifically for people. Not because it'll come back to bite you in the butt, but because you will be lacking in foundation, right? If you expect people to fill voids in you, then you will not be able to live a fulfilled life, right? And if you trick yourself into those situations, right, it leaves you at a detriment as well. Probably even worse, if I'm being honest, because you like to hide behind something and think that you are doing something for the betterment of a situation, when in all reality you're just being lazy, which has been my case for the last year, most likely, if not longer, right? So I'd say go out there, take accountability, and live your life. Hopefully, if you want to see somebody more, you get to see them more. I hope you guys work on some emotional regulation. Hope you have a great night. All right. You the best. We the best. Hey, hey.